So I'm going to create a directory for my web application called web demo because that makes sense. Might as well name things.
I am just as creative with the naming of my demos as well.
It helps me not get lost if I name things things that make sense. Like, okay,
Absolutely.
I'm definitely in the web app because I named it web. That was smart of me. um, so yes, now we've created this directory. There's lots of different ways to create a new React app. There's actually a library called Create React App. Um, it's a bit more complicated and like a bit too configurable for our needs today. And so, in order to keep things relatively simple, um, I'm just going to go ahead and build things more from scratch because you really don't need that much to make a React app, surprisingly. Um, so I'm just going to make a few files, empty files for now. We have an index HTML file, we have a TSX file, and I'm going to have to add in some TypeScript configuration. So we'll go ahead and just create those empty files for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and run yarn init, and that's going to set this up as an npm package just so that I have a package JSON and I can install some dependencies. So let's see what dependencies we're going to add. We're going to start with our dev dependencies. We need Parcel Bundler is a web bundler. Yeah, it's if you've ever used Webpack, it does the same thing. It tends to be like I like Parcel a lot. It tends to be kind of like out of the box. It just works. So I've really liked using Parcel. And then we also need TypeScript. So I'm going to go ahead and add those.
I agree completely with you on that. Like I use Parcel, I use Snowpack. Like I'm sorry, if I have to spend a half hour writing code just to get my code to build, like we've lost here. Like we've absolutely lost the plot if this is what we're doing.
Yeah, the app or the client app that I recently built using this strategy, we originally tried using Webpack, and like I lost at least a day, maybe two, just trying to get to like Webpack to be configured in a way that would work. And we'd like switch to Parcel, and I swear we got it working in half an hour. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I openly, I shouldn't say I refuse to learn Webpack, but I avoid it as much as I possibly can for exactly that reason.
Yeah. So yeah, Parcel all the way. This is actually still using Parcel 1. There is Parcel 2 out, but it's technically still in beta. And there's some kinks that need to be worked out that don't quite work with the strategy I'm going to use today. So we're still using Parcel 1, which I think works beautifully. And why change what works?
Absolutely.
So those are our dev dependencies. We're going to go ahead and add the building blocks of a React app. Necessary React and React DOM. You can't have a React app without those two things. Now we need to get our web app running. So let's go ahead and open this up in our editor. This is big enough.
Hooray, Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, Visual Studio Code. Awesome editor. Highly recommend. Ever since when I did Rails, I think I used Vim for a while, which was a very strange time in my life. I wouldn't go back. I also used Sublime. And then as soon as I came to the React world, I started using VS Code because that's just like what everyone uses. And it's amazing. It's like super extensible. Lots of tooling. Yeah. If you're not using VS Code, check it out. So this next bit, there's going to be some, let's call it the magic of television, where there's just going to be some code that appears, so you don't have to watch me type. But so this is our index.html that we created that was previously empty. We're just going to add the bare bones of what we need. It's literally just a body, a script tag that's going to pull in our TSX file, our JavaScript, and a div that's going to be where the React app will mount on the page. So that's the
Nothing overly
index.
fancy there.
Nothing really fancy there. So then we're going to fill out our index TSX, and this is where React actually comes into play. So another magic of television moment. Just pretend I typed all that. So what we have here is like we're importing React, we're importing render from React DOM, and what we're putting on the page is this app component, which we define right here, which is pretty simple. It's just a div wrapped around a p tag with hello world, which can you get any more classic than that?
It's impossible to do an intro demo without doing hello
I
world. Like
feel like
it's against the
you
law.
just have to, right? So this is about as simple of a React app as you could get. And this it goes and searches for the root element, which we defined over here in our HTML. And it's theoretically going to put this div in that spot, and we'll see some text. So hopefully that works. Looks like TypeScript is yelling at us because I haven't put in any TypeScript configuration yet.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and pull over some configuration for the purpose of this demo. It's not really important what we see here, but it makes TypeScript happy. No more red squigglies. I always love making those go away. It's really satisfying. So there's one last thing we need to do before we can actually build this thing. We need to add some scripts. So this is our package JSON. We're just going to add these scripts, little helper scripts for telling Parcel to go ahead and build and serve up our app. And if everything is in my favor, we should be able to just run yarn start, which will start our server. Yep, looks like it built successfully. And then we're going to go ahead and load localhost 1234. And
sure enough,
yay!